Hey everyone, and welcome to a 1v1 StarCraft 2 shoutcast from yours truly, Maze. This is going to be between the players QXC and Justinsane, which I believe is going to be a Terran player spawning up here on the top side of the map. And I've never heard of Justinsane before, so he is probably, I believe this is just a Battle.net match. These games were sent to be from QXC, and he didn't specify that they were from any tournament, so I believe they're just from Battle.net. But in any case, it should be a great match to watch. Gotta love me some TVT on Scrap Station. I don't believe I've actually casted a game quite like this before, a Terran Mirror on Scrap Station. But so this should be a great game to watch. I gotta just go ahead and guess that this ledge right here is used a lot for early air harassment with Banshees, but really never quite too sure what to expect, especially never quite too sure what to expect from QXC, a very polished, very good StarCraft 2 player. Always love to see what he has to do whenever I'm casting this guy. Alright, so let's see what's going on. So Barracks play nothing really too crazy right here. We don't see any early scouts either, so it's pretty much just standard Terran opening for both of these players right now. One thing that you gotta guess is that basically what I was saying before, is this air ledge right here gonna be harassed by Banshees? Is it gonna be more of a traditional M&M style? Is this gonna be Vikings, maybe some drops right here? I'm sure that this is gonna be used in some way throughout the game. One SCV is now going scouting across the map here, trying to see if maybe QXC is going some crazy style build. Not too sure. One gas is coming up, so probably not going to see any crazy early Marine play. Both players getting gas at around the same time, and I believe both Barracks is finishing at around the same time. One Marine, one Marine. I'm looking at the same person right here. I think QXC is dual boxing himself right now. I think that's basically the gimmick of this game. Although this one supply depot was placed there, so maybe not. In any case, Orbital Command and Marines coming out. Actually, no tech lab for the Barracks right now. Marine does come out to scope out that SCV early. I noticed that QXC actually does not send an SCV for scouting. I think he's probably so comfortable in this matchup, or maybe on this map, but probably just Terran versus Terran, that he doesn't want to waste those minerals going in for a scout early on. So that's probably why he just ignored the scout altogether and just kept his Marines out there to deny any scouting in his base, actually choosing to go, opting for a factory. Both players still basically on the same level. QXC a little bit further ahead though. Marines staying up on this ledge, making sure that no tricky little SCVs are going to sneak by and see that factory coming in, but I believe that both players are probably expecting just about the same team. And note this Marine placement right here. In case any scout decides to come in, these Marines are going to get full engagement on an SCV or any Marine that might be coming in here before they even have a chance to fire back. So that is why you don't want to necessarily keep your Marines out here, but you want to keep them up closer to the fog on the opponent's side. One Marine coming in right now. I'm not sure if that really is the best thing for him to do, because he's probably going to get sniped if this is just a scout. If he is going to check for an expansion, which it looks like he is doing, then he probably is going to be okay, at least in this map. QXC going for that expansion actually. We see that one Hellion is in play, and we see that Infernal Brigniter is being researched, so we are probably going to see some roasty toasty Marines coming in on this map. And no Hellion coming in for this factory, at least not quite yet. We see that Starport is immediately being built for Justinsane here. So it looks like we are seeing the variation play right now that QXC is going to be going for this command star, going to be going for an economy style build, basically built towards destroying any kind of early Marine pushes, any ground assault. But QXC is going to have to be careful about having enough scans or having enough missile turrets in case there might be some Banshee play with Cloak. That could definitely be very dangerous and very devastating for QXC, because we actually do see a Banshee being produced right now. Cloak is not yet being researched. We might see that soon, but that is definitely something QXC might have to worry about. I do not see an engineering bay coming along at the moment. One Hellion is out, however, but it doesn't seem like this Hellion Infernal Preigniter is going to be quite as effective against ground right now. I think maybe it's going to turn into a drop play, or maybe he's going to be using those early Hellions to snipe off some of these SCVs back here once his base gets saturated. In any case, looks like that's what QXC was actually trying to hope for. He was hoping that they were going for an expansion early on there. That's why you do see that one Marine coming in right there, one Hellion actually going back with 1 kill. I think he was actually was able to move out those Hellions in the middle right now, so QXC does have full map control. However, this Banshee soon is going to be high in the sky, harassing QXC's base at will. However, there is no cloak, so he's going to be needing to micro, but Banshees, if they can micro well enough against Marines, they can snipe out 6 or 7 before it's time to go. And actually, the micro doesn't look like it's that great for right now for Justinsane. Might be able to kill a couple of Marines here. One Marine does go down. One Viking actually in play right now, so QXC totally preparing for a Banshee. Was able to get 4 Marines, but not quite worth it considering the fact that you do need to get a starport and a Banshee for that one assault. But it looks like he is still going to be sticking on this Banshee player right here. He's going to be going Banshees, tanks, and a couple of Marines, so definitely heavy textile play for both players. Actually, we actually see dual starports coming in right now. Going to be able to support that off of the second base here soon. Mules coming in as well. This base is going to be saturated, and we do see the Terran player is at least destroying these rocks. Might be making his way over to QXC's base right now. But it is a notable difference to see that QXC does have a defense against these Banshees. However, with these tanks, with those Banshees, Justinsane does have a lot of power on the ground where QXC is fairly lacking. He does have those Hellions, which are going to be able to snipe out those Marines quite well, but those tanks are really what QXC needs to worry about at this point of the game. So we're going to be interesting to see what his response to that is. Actually still pumping out tons of Hellions. I don't really think there is much on the map for QXC besides Hellions and Vikings. Looks like that's about it. He is going to be trying to pick off a Banshee, so QXC going to be able to get a couple of cheap stops off here, but notices that these missile turrets are here. Justinsane actually preparing for such a play because he did see those Vikings coming out on the ground, knew that he was going to be vulnerable for his Banshees. QXC was, however, able to get that Banshee down before he was able to run into the safety of the turret, so good win for him right there. We do see that more tanks are coming in for Justinsane. This is really going to be kind of dangerous for QXC. Let's see how he's going to be able to deal with these tanks, because really right now it's just Hellions and Vikings, which really aren't that great against tanks. So let's see what he's going to be able to do with this. Looks like Justinsane is, I think QXC was able to effectively null any air superiority that Justinsane was trying to get, because although he does have 2 Vikings, against QXC's 4 Vikings, it's really not going to be worth it. It's just a 2-on-1 battle, going to be throwing Vikings at him, so definitely going to need to be moving down those Vikings into support those siege tanks and play to his strengths, maintain that strong ground assault that he has going on right now. We see that QXC is transitioning into more of an air build with some more ground attack. We see that Banshees are coming in, so QXC effectively was able to deny air superiority for the Terran player, which I think was his goal right here, getting those Banshees in. So it looks like those Marines and tanks are going to be in a lot of trouble, considering the fact that once QXC does snipe out these Vikings, those Banshees are going to have free reign against a couple of Marines and a couple of tanks. So I think he's in a good position right now. I think if Justinsane came to attack a little bit sooner, it would have been more difficult for QXC, but he was given that cushion of time. Was able to get his tech going. And QXC now pumping out a couple of Banshees, still going for those Hellions. So and we do see that there are siege tanks on the way for Justinsane right now. QXC actually coming in right here with a dropship. That's exactly what I'm talking about, getting that Infernal Pre-Igniter for some late game harass. Exactly what I was thinking. How many kills do these Hellions have? 5, 7, 7, 6. So many, almost 20 kills basically for these Hellions. 20 SCVs down. Crazy amount of workers killed. Look at that, 21 total. So QXC is up on the economy. Taking a look at that right now, he is definitely going to be able to stay ahead on this tech, but Justinsane does have those menacing tanks. The question is he going to have enough to deal with QXC's Banshees, which right now number at about 2, and there is one more being produced as well as more Vikings. So this is going to be very tough. I think Justinsane would be better off going on with getting a couple of Marines. However, QXC is kind of got him pinched right now, because if he does choose to go Marines, those Hellions are just going to toast him up. So right now this composition is pretty difficult to fight against. I'm not really sure what Justinsane would be able to do against this. Maybe Thors would be a good call, but it doesn't look like he's trying to get any of those out. Hellions actually coming in, moving in on these siege tanks. Hellions against siege tanks. When do you see this? And those tanks Those Hellions are basically toasting those tanks away. Oh my god, QXC just destroyed that army with a bunch of Hellions. Those Banshees didn't even do that much to those tanks right there. Really, basically just owned that army with a couple of Hellions. QXC might even be able to just land on these tanks, destroy this position right here. Are those Hellions designed to go in right now? Nope, it looks like those Banshees are going to be able to destroy this, and that is the game. Justin taps out right there. QXC, amazing game right here. I love what he did. He anticipated air coming from Justinsane. He said, all right, I'll let you go air. I'll defend against it. It'll look like I'll go something completely different than you. I'll deny your air. Then I'll go air myself. So you basically will be able to do nothing except for get ground units. Basically, Justinsane was forced into a hole to make Thors, but I don't think he noticed that in time, nor had the time to react to it. He really was just kind of staying on those tanks and kind of being on the defensive the entire game, which is not something that you really want to do once your opponent has that much air superiority. He does have some turrets here trying to deny any Banshee plays like this later in the game, but he just was not able to get it in time. The only flaw I saw in QXC's strategy right here was that he was, I believe, a little bit weak early on with just these Hellions, but as we saw, those Marines just get instantly sniped away, and the only thing you really need to worry about are those siege tanks, and it looked like those Hellions were able to, in fact, take out 4 siege tanks. I believe he had about 10 Hellions here. But in any case, QXC did a great job this game. Great psychological game, basically. He owned his opponent the entire time. He anticipated his moves. He was always one step ahead, so got to hand it to QXC this game. Justinsane, seemed like a solid player, but just wasn't able to match up to the mettle of QXC's Terran Force. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and there will be at least one more of these QXC games coming up, so stay tuned for that, and rate, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy the clip at the end. Thank you.